G-thoughtz.
Wherefore art thou? Wherefore art thou?
So I had a thought, and actually this totally falls into the If I Were King segment. It's a scenario where if I was king, not president, even though the lines are being blurred each day, and I had control, I could do whatever I wanted and needed to. But again, this thought is downloading. I decided to unzip it from the universe. I got an email and I got to speak. I don't know how this is going to end. I have a feeling it's either going to be something that will be for who I'm kind of going against or against who I'm going to go against. You'll understand in a second. And as usual, I'm going to kind of question myself. It's just me. I know it's just me. But I like to kind of split my mind a little bit when I think about these things out loud, to kind of question myself real time and make sure my ideas are on top of where they need to go. Whatever. Keep going. Okay. So if I were king, okay, what's the question? King Ja, there's something wrong with social media. You must get rid of it. Okay. Normally I would say, okay, done. So it shall be written. But we got to be a little bit more tactile here. We got to be a little bit more authentic about this, because we're using social media now. Technically, it's on YouTube, might be on Facebook. I don't know where we end up putting this. Let's take it more surgical, with a little more nuance. Let's start with an artist, because we're artists. We are. This is art, is it not? It is. And even though I'm expressing myself within this art in a way that's quite close to my personal beliefs, I would say they're pretty damn close. This is art. I'm proving it right now by doing two voices, people. This is being done intentionally. This is a way of doing art. This is what classifies this, what I'm doing now, from real life. This is kind of on the meta level, metaphorical. Allegory-ish, you'll see what I'm saying in a second. And the way I'm making points going back and forth allows me to play in the sandbox of the playground of thought from our book, The Socialist Manifesto. One day we'll really release that. 350 pages of, well, me. Hi, hello. But in prose, another form of art. Art is protected by the First Amendment, is it not? It is. Completely, is it not? To some degree. How so? Well, there's copyright infringement. There's defamation. Okay. There's a bunch of things. I'm sure Katie Fang or Neil Katyal could fill in the blanks there. There's plenty. But for the most part, yeah, art is protected by the First Amendment. Okay. So why are our Facebook posts not protected by the First Amendment? Well, they are. You can say whatever you want. Could you? You get kicked off of Facebook? Yeah, I guess so. We get kicked off of YouTube. They did that in the pandemic. Oh, can't say the P word. Which one? The one that reminds you of a cat? Or go ahead, Trump. What's the other one? Still thinking about the cat? Or about the shot? Oh, boy. Hey, that was your biggest achievement, was it not? A shot. Good for you. Why are you not asking for a Nobel Prize for that? Interesting. I digress. You do. Die quicker. Okay, we'll die hard. So here's the deal. Social media. Well, here's the thing. Go back to the artist. If an artist does get sued and their work is exhibited by a museum, curated by a museum, that's the way the public would see the work, then there is a case, and I believe there have been cases where the museums get sued. Have there not? I'm sure there is. ChatGPT could look it up. I'd rather not. Let's assume that I'm pretty sure. But for the most part, artists are protected, and so are museums. It has to be a pretty unique case for both of them to get sued. Well, what's going on in Britain? You tell me. Okay, so this is interesting. According to Joe Rogan, and I don't know if he's correct on this, Elon Musk was saying he agreed. Those two are the bastions of truth, right? Who needs Google when you've got Elon Musk and Joe Rogan? Is this a slight on Joe Rogan or Elon Musk? I appreciate them both, but I keep them at an arm's length distance and full of salt. I digress. Die quicker. Okay. So in England, I think it's England, about 12,000 people have been arrested due to social media posts or things they shared on social media. Is that correct? I believe so. We could look it up. And then it would be safe to say, at some point in time, I don't think this is an impossible thought, or this isn't implausible to get to a point where you could easily make the connection that their use of social media caused harm to others. That's why they got arrested. Well, that's totally plausible. It's exactly why they got arrested. Okay. Well, then that should strike fear in people like Mark Zuckerberg and even Jeff Bezos if he's looking to do the Washington Post and all the other bullshit. Who knows what he's looking to do with that? All these guys looked at Elon and saw that he got X, and they're like, oh boy, we need to get into the information control arena. That's how you get the power. I digress. Keep dying. And as we die a little quicker here, day by day, another leaf falls from the tree, we realize that social media is making our lives darker, not brighter, not shining light. It's shining a lot of shade. But that's not the point here. Back to England. If someone could be convicted of something that they use social media, in other words, they could have gotten convicted, I guess, if they said it out loud, walking to people, but the very nature, they could extrapolate that they could amplify that message so quickly and so vastly, and to a tremendous amount of people at once, potentially, cause the inevitable incarceration or conviction of their supposed crime. I don't see where you're going here. You will in a second. So if that's the case, then social media is dangerous. It can be used as a weapon. And I'm not going to go into a whole thing where it's Second Amendment, you should register social media and all, because then you get into a whole world of danger of personal information and identity. That's a whole other thing. Something a digital Bill of Rights would address. It would, where I could control my data, right? Congress, I could control what it is that they're not selling, because Meta doesn't sell my data, but they use it to harvest. They use it as fertilizer to harvest the money that they get from all the companies and even all the other creators trying to post their stuff and be advertised. Our information is the fertilizer. It's the shit that they take from us. They suck from us without us even knowing. It's like cows. We're the cows. They need our information I think I get the point. Okay. That platform, that farm, that animal farm of sorts, is dangerous or can be dangerous and should be regulated. But here's the thing. If social media wants to get around that, they can say they're merely the curators. Isn't that kind of what they're doing? They're trying to, but I don't think they're taking it to that degree. To say that basically what people are doing online, sharing visuals and pictures and videos and stuff, that's not their real life. Social media has to come out and say it. What you see on social media is not real. Oh, I see where you're going here. Oh, this is the boom of the rest of it just downloaded. I just realized what I'm about to say. If social media companies came out and said to the world, basically a disclaimer, hey, none of what you're about to see is real. It's a made-up existence, curated by our, I guess, followers? Because that's what you're doing. You're following each other. You're technically all followers, following whatever the algorithm leads you to, like cows, onto the field, out of the field, on this part of the field, over here, over there. That's clever. It is. It's also true. But none of this is real. It's curated. All of our users are curating it. We're curating the whole experience. It's one big game. It's one big false reality that people escape their regular reality and go and share their art with the world. Now what? Well, it'd be tougher to sue. Sue who? The user or the farmer? The cow or the sheep? Because it depends. If you're not a cow, and you're not one of the plow horses, this is going to get corny. Maybe. And tilling the soil and all that stuff online, you're one of the big boys, like Mr. Beast, then you're a sheep. You're following around. Weak analogy. I agree. Let's move on. But at the end of the day, if social media just were to come out and say, look, this is all fake. What you're about to see here is not real. So what about all those TikToks where they're doing the news and stuff? Well, that too. You got to get your news from someplace else. Well, I can't trust the media on television. Well, then that's your problem. Because you can't trust the media online, can you? Well, I could use it to cross-reference what I see. Okay, I see where we're going here. I don't want to go down this path. I do. Let's end on this. If regulating social media means that you do not hold regular media accountable, in other words, you don't leave a free speech avenue for others to speak back out against that media, then some people might say that is the end of democracy, starting with the first what? First Amendment. But what I'm saying is, I'm talking about the Second Amendment, the weapon, not the gun. Social media, the curators, they're essentially the weapon. And they're allowing me to not just say what I want to say, but if I choose to weaponize it. And that's where it gets hairy. Because if you wrap yourself, Mark Zuckerberg, in the flag, like Donald Trump does, you say that you're doing it for freedom and democracy. Well, social media companies are just saying, well, we just want to be the ones that you see the freedom and democracy being displayed online on every phone and every tablet across the world. We're just the curators. Well, what's the more real experience, Mark Zuckerberg? The one I'm having online, where I have access to all the information, or the one in real life when I only have access to some? Which one is real life? Because if you can't decide between the two, then you're not Mark Zuckerberg. You're his wife. I'll leave that joke there and pick it up another time. Let me end on this. Nothing is real unless you choose to make it such. But when you start to make something that's not real and your life and build your reality around it, you're not living in the real world anymore, my friends. You're in a concocted world, a social reality, something that's not real, something that's made up, something that's curated for you, that's being, well, enter the matrix jokes. It's being programmed for you. That's a whole other world. And until social media comes out and admits that they're the programmers of this existence online, and that existence is the matrix, that's what we're falling into. That's the fake world that people think is real and are willing to give their lives for. Then social media isn't just a weapon. It's the end of society as we know it.